My name is Daniel Irizarry. I am a missionary to Cuba. First time I came to Cuba in '89, I did not realize that it was a completely unreached people group. In those years, there may have been a 1% population of evangelical Christian believers in the nation. But when I shared the gospel message with a cousin for the first time in '89, and he looked at me after sharing the gospel and said, "Danny, that's beautiful what you've just shared, but how do you expect me to believe in God when all my life I've been told that there is no God?" Man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I think God, even at that time, was laying the groundwork in my own heart, preparing the soil, not knowing that later on I would be called to be a full-time missionary in Cuba. Over the years, you guys have heard about the revival in Cuba. I mean, an incredible revival from late 1989 through 94, 95. And the fruit of that revival is that today, there's a passionate, systematic, continual evangelization from all the churches in Cuba wanting to reach their nation for Christ. And that's proof that it was an authentic move of God, because they have a great passion to win their nation for Christ.
So one of our roles or focus is to mobilize, train, and send the church to the neighborhoods to fulfill the Great Commission. We already have over 200 small groups that meet, and those groups, we open them in non-believers' homes. We've seen hundreds of people, hundreds of men and women with their families, be transformed. In the last 6 months alone, we have baptized people every month. And all that is to say that many people are coming to Christ, and their lives are being changed. They're being transformed. And that's the simple reason why we live. That's why I live.
Right now, we need to help the Cuban church more than ever. Strike while the iron's hot. There is such an openness. In fact, there's a statistic from our evangelism group here in the nation that they have a percentage that they keep of how many people say no when they knock on the door. No meaning they don't want to listen to the gospel. And in the last more than a decade, that number oscillates from 0.4 to 0.6 of 1%, which means for every 101 homes that you knock on to present the gospel, at least 100 homes will listen to the gospel. That is something that's pretty incredible. I would dare say there are very few places in the world where the spiritual atmosphere is that open. And so I believe that we need to come alongside the Cuban church in prayer. We need to come alongside the Cuban church by coming and catching their vision and letting them know there's people outside of Cuba that haven't forgotten about them and are interceding and praying for them. And yes, helping them with resources in every sense of the word. They do a lot with very little. And if we put resources in their hands, God only knows what's going to happen in Cuba in the next 10 years. And so I'm excited, and I'm very happy to be a part of what's going on in Cuba. I know that everybody's not called to the foreign field, but everybody is called to help, whether it's by prayer, resources. And yes, we need some people to answer the call, to say, you know what, I'm willing to put everything aside, my dreams. I'm willing to say, Jesus, I'll go wherever you want me to go. I'll do what you want me to do. And I will say this, it's been an awesome ride. It's been an awesome experience. The moment I said yes to Christ, it's been nothing but an adventure in my Christian walk with God.